Hello everybody. I wanted to do a video on my knives today. And the pre-survival and now my survival mentality for bushcraft. Of course, like most people, I've got my utility tools that are multi-tools. This one here, it's sold, I don't even know what it is. American Camper. It's a cheap knockoff, probably made some foreign country with bad steel. Of course, I have the Winchester multi-tool, which is a not bad multi-tool. I've used it on several occasions when I'm out running around with my big industrial size weed eater that you push with your hands. You don't hold like a shoulder strap and go. I'm talking about a big one with wheels. Thing can cut down trees. And whenever I need to take the screen off to blow it out and clean it up, and it's not a bad little handy tool, but it's not the best either. I would like to get a more high-end one, but not too many of the high-end ones have this. It has a little mini socket set that's magnetized. You know, you've got your socket here for your Phillips, both types of Phillips, two different sizes of flathead screwdriver. I got a bunch of cheap things that I don't even know why I keep them. This is stainless. This is my everyday carry Smith & Wesson pocket tactical folder, and this is my Gerber Gator. That stays in my fishing box, my tackle box. Now, as most country boys will know, when I talk about, okay, I got some of my Victorinox, and I got this from iLevel company I work for. Swiss Army knives. This is like a NRA gift thing. This is the cheap one from Weyerhaeuser, Remington, Colonial, and this is the one that every country boy knows, the Old Timer, three-bladed Old Timer. I cannot tell you how long I've had this. You know, I've had it at least 15 years, and there for a point in time I lost it, and I found it in my camo shirt in the pocket where I had put it, you know, of course. And every country boy knows, you know, this is the tool that goes with the person on the farm, because it's just perfect for like doing hay bales, cutting hay bales, little whittling tasks, stuff like that. But even now I'm coming to the point where, you know, I'll put this in my pocket. But I am now firmly of the bushcraft mindset. Now, this is a one I bought probably 5 years ago. Stainless steel Winchester. You know, these are just cheap stamped steel. I would buy these by the set. It was like $9.99 at Walmart. You know, they're nice hunting knives, but that's just what they are. But believe it or not, I was looking at these thinking, well, I'd never get a place to get sparks off these knives. And sure enough, after looking at it, the Winchester, even this one, I found a place to get sparks. A Winchester stamp knife. And it's not the blade, it's the spot just before the blade. Let's see, where's the sheath for this? And you know, this and this knife, this is the one I've had the longest. My daughter's 25. I believe this knife is just about as old as she is. This is the Gerber 925 Drop Point Pro Guide. I couldn't find the specifics on it because this dang thing's so old. But this thing has done everything. Just like my Old Timer, I've done a lot of squirrels, rabbits, and fish with this, and even a couple deer. This has done mega amounts of deer, rabbits, squirrels, fish. This has been an awesome blade from Gerber. The 925 Drop Point Pro Guide. You know, it's not steel that I would call survival blade quality steel, but there's the old axiom, which is very, very true. If you're in a survival situation, what you have on you is a survival tool. Well, there's many times if I was in a survival situation, this is what I would have. And I found a spot on this also, on the finger choil, where it could throw sparks. Well, now I'm not watching. I won't be able to find it now. I found it earlier. Oh, that's a little one. Just not that good at it. Probably because I got sweaty hands. I got sweat on it. But anyway, this, for what it is, this Winchester and this Gerber as hunting knives were excellent. I mean, you just can't talk bad about them, because as a hunting knife, it could do everything you needed it to do with game. Now, I also have a Cutco. And I'm not sure about this knife. Maybe some of you guys can fill me in. I bought it from a neighbor girl when I lived up there in Springfield in the apartment building. I believe I got it for $6 or $60. And I ordered the Hunter version, but I ended up with the serrated edge version. I can't stand serrated edges like most survival bushcraft people. But it is sharp. And they say that they heat treat these and that they take these into a sub-zero chamber and liquid nitrogen and slowly cool them down to harden them. So they claim they have a heat treat and a cold treat. I'm thinking about taking the grinder, taking these teeth off, and put a secondary bevel on this. It looks like a saber grind now. Yeah, it even feels like it. And it's not very thick. It's probably less than 1/8, or right around 1/8 of an inch. I don't know if it throws sparks or not. Yeah, it does. That was a pretty good spark too. We'll find out. I'll get it out in the woods playing with it once I get those serrated edges off there. Can't stand serrated edges. And this is my recent acquisition, the Schrade 42. What's the SF? Schrade F42, and I believe the F stands for Frontier. And this is a spark throwing monster here. It'll just, I better be careful, I'm gonna burn down my camper trailer, the one that I'm living in. The jipping is not so severe, especially since I've been doing mostly my work with gloves on. But what I'm going to do, Schrade, pay attention. If you have any products you want me to review, contact me and I'll give you my address. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this winter, and I'm going to take this, the Skax 2, what is this thing? Schrade with their names, that's where. The Skax 2L, and I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to do outrageous amounts of bushcraft stuff, because I'm going to be out there hunting, and it's going to be for rabbits and whatever I can legally take. And I'm going to be setting up camps in multiple places with these survival type tools. So if you have something you want me to not, I'm not talking about just doing reviews, I'm talking about putting on my hip and taking out in the woods and actually using for a period of time. Because what I'm going to do is, through that period of time, I'm going to take all these products that I use in setting up camps, butchering game, building fires, building shelters, processing wood for fire, and I'm going to make a picture photo album, and I'm going to publish it. Now, the people that I'm going to go through, Fast Pencil, you know, this will be available basically worldwide. Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, and I don't know the prices yet, but it won't be too bad once I get this job. I just did an interview for the job today, so hopefully that comes out for my favor. But nonetheless, I'm going to get these products out in the mountains, and I'm going to be using them hard. And I'm not talking about out of their specified uses. I'm talking about everyday good solid use. You know, when I get a deer, I'm going to hang it, I'm going to gut it, I'm going to process it using the Schrade 42 knife. And this old 1095 high carbon steel, about 9 inches overall or so. Full flat grind. It's got the slight recurve, which I happen to like in knives. You just have to have a thinner whetstone to sharpen, and then it works. It works. You don't want the great big wide ones. But this thing is razor sharp too, by the way. I have not had the chance to use these two yet. I've had these for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and I'm just waiting to get out there in the woods. But here in Oregon, Washington, California, the forest fires are just, they're unending. You know, we haven't had rain in a while. I think the last video I did that was on my other channel on YouTube. I basically, it was been so long since we had rain, I walked out in it and got wet. But once we start getting the conditions right in the woods, I'll be going out there and putting these products through their paces. I have no problem thinking they're going to do well. I've seen videos on the Skax 2L. That is what it is, yep. And I've seen that, and I know that use that cheaper, softer steel. But for what I'm going to be doing with it, as long as I have the sharpening puck, I can process whatever I need to do. And you know what's really strange, and this shows how my mentality went from point A to point B. Back when I was growing up on the ranch, we had a electric furnace in our basement, and the basement was the size of the whole house. And in that, we would build a fire. Once it reached a certain temperature, fans would kick on and blow the hot air throughout the house. And one of my jobs was building the fire every morning. And not once did I ever use a knife. I always had a full-size axe. And with that, I could do everything and did everything to get the fire going. We used fat wood on a morning basis because my dad was a clipper operator in a veneer mill. And all that nasty pitch stuff that he would get in the clip out from the as waste to get the good pieces of wood to make plywood, he'd bring home. So a couple sticks of that with me taking care of kindling with the axe, and we had a fire. So I've got years of experience dealing with wood and processing wood, and even how to split wood in a proper way. And very few people that I see on YouTube actually do it right. I mean, there's a country boy way of doing this. When you're splitting rounds that are this big. But we'll get into that later. Once I get out in the hills and I start doing pictures and videos and everything else out there. I went down the road today and got a bunch of cattail fluff that I can put in my kit. I have the pitch from my first video. I put in my kit. One of these days I'm going to go out there and just see how much is out there. I'm going to take an old nasty knife, a screwdriver, maybe a chisel and a hammer out there and start knocking off these big chunks and see how much I can get in total weight. I have a feeling a couple, 2 or 3, maybe even 4 pounds worth. Well, anyway, these are my knives. These are the puppies I want to get out in the woods here as fast as I can. But we have to be waiting for the weather to change. It's going to be in the mid to high 80s this week. Finally. And once we get the rain, I'll be getting out there. So Schrade, if you get a hold of me through my YouTube channel, I'll give you my address. I don't want the 35, 36, 37, 38. I would like to do the 50, 51, and 51M. You know, the big chunky knives. I like to get them out there and build some camps with them and do some game processing with them to see if they can do those kind of smaller, finer tasks. And you know, I'll publish all of it in a book. And I'll even list on the pictures what the products are. You know, I'll be using also like camping utensils. I'll list all those things at the very bottom of the picture so people know what I was using when I made the photographic book doing survival stuff. It's going to be an art book basically. High quality pictures and that kind of stuff. Alright, thank you much. You guys take it easy. Later.